Hey 49er fans, I'm Thomas Mott. Welcome into Chat Sports, and today, let's do it. Overreaction Tuesday. Let's address the 49ers' 34-24 loss to the Buffalo Bills. Listen, I'm going to be straight up. Brutal loss. They really needed to win that one to go ahead and stay alive in the postseason run, but I'm also torn because it's a great football game. It was a really, really fun football game to watch. Hats off to the Bills. Josh Allen is a beast. We'll talk more about this here in a little bit. So I'm very, very depressed. But I'm also I really enjoyed that Monday night game overall. If only it had been a switch score, 34 49ers, 24 Bills, but what are you going to do? Okay, answer the pinned comment down below quickly. One-word reaction to the 49ers loss. Be the top comment we have pinned right up here on the channel and below me, somewhere down there. What's your one-word reaction? Is it devastated? Is it brutal? Is it what is it? Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments section. Okay, we start with our Week 13 overreactions. Every single time we do this, we talk about some storylines that I'm seeing and reacting to them, whether it's on Twitter or on blogs or on the radio, whatever it is. A lot of people are saying Nick Mullens was bad yesterday, and I'm are you guys crazy? I thought Nick Mullens had one of his better games as a quarterback in a 49er uniform. 26 of 39, 316 yards, 3 touchdowns. Now, 2 picks. 2 tough picks. The first one, can't really blame him. It was off of Aiyuk's hands, then kind of bounced up in the air. It was a tight window, but I'm not really going to blame Nick Mullens on that one. The second one, I think he was throwing to Jeff Wilson at the goal. It was either Wilson or Mostert, one of the running backs. I think the running back's going to make a better job at going back to get the football. Again, another tight window. He's trying to force the ball in there. Good play by the DB. But this is not a stat line where you go, okay, he was really reckless with the football, because he really wasn't. I thought he made some really good decisions, some really good throws, and I thought overall Nick Mullens had himself a very, very good evening. Now, with that being said, it's still clear to me Nick Mullens is not the future at the franchise quarterback position for the San Francisco 49ers. I think somebody else will be in that spot. Last night had me thinking, what if they did have a legit, really good quarterback as the quarterback with Kyle Shanahan in this offense? Can you imagine Matt Stafford? Can you imagine imagine Josh Allen in the 49er uniform? I mean, goodness gracious, this offense, which still can move the football with all the talent that they have behind a backup quarterback in Nick Mullens, would be unbelievable with a true starter, a true number one, whether it's Garoppolo or somebody else. Just a thought I kind of had last night. I'm curious though. Grade Nick Mullens' play. What do you guys think? People saying it's bad on Twitter. I didn't think it was bad at all. I mean, B+ to A-. Both those picks, take those away, which again, weren't really his fault. Kind of a tight window, but still, I thought overall, almost an A performance. Give you guys a grade for him down below right now in the comments section. It is interesting, though, as we continue talking about the emergence of Nick Mullens and just how well he played last night. I mean, the emergence of Brandon Aiyuk, who has become, quite honestly, the number 1 wide receiver on this football team. Now, it's kind of hit or miss. Sometimes it's Debo, sometimes it's Aiyuk. Really, it's 1A and 1B, or 1A and 1A2, or whatever you want to call it. Both of them were good yesterday, but Brandon Aiyuk has really flourished. We did this video a couple weeks ago where I mentioned that Javon Kinlaw looks like he was worth the 14th overall pick because he's starting to kind of shine. Brandon Aiyuk looks like he's worth the 25th overall pick. He's starting to shine. Besides Justin Jefferson, who really has been the best wide receiver in the first round of the 2020 NFL Draft with the Vikings, I'd say Aiyuk is number 2. He's been better than Jalen Reagor in Philadelphia. He's been better than Jerry Jeudy. He's been better than Henry Ruggs. I think overall, he's been a lot better than CeeDee Lamb. I think overall, out of all of the rookie wide receivers, he's probably number 2 that were taken in the first round, and you got him there at 25. He's the last wide receiver taken in the first round. So congratulations to the 49ers for hitting another home run, another young wide receiver. I think both of these guys, Aiyuk and Debo, are going to be fantastic going forward. Now, doesn't help us with the playoff situation you have right now. We'll get into the playoff standings here in a second, but it is good to see that this team, with a couple of new pieces and new additions and minor tweaks, I think going into 2021 is going to be right back to being one of the most competitive teams in the NFC and in the National Football League as a whole. Again, we're talking about their playoff outlook a little bit later on in the show, but the odds are still there and still good if you guys want to make a bet on them making the postseason or just winning their next game, because we are still doing our jersey giveaway with our friends at BetUS, which is a great overall promo for anyone who is a new BetUS customer who has not signed up or deposited with us or them at all yet. So essentially, if you've never wanted to bet on, or if you've never had a chance to bet on a 49er game or an NFL game, or just sign up for BetUS as a whole, we have a great incentive to get you guys to go ahead and put your first $100 deposit down. So all you got to do, make your first deposit of $100 or more. We'll send you a 49ers jersey, either George Kittle or Nick Bosa in the sweet Nike edition, Nike Legend Edition in Scarlet Red. So the official Nike, real deal 49er jersey right now. Again, you make your first deposit of $100 or more, you will get either Kittle or Nick Bosa. Now, you got to do a couple of things to be able to secure that jersey. First off, make sure you use our link right there, chatsports.com/49bet, and use the promo code Niners125. You got to do both of those things. That way, it notifies us, of course, that you guys went through us to go ahead and do the deposit. deposit. Then, after you do the link and the promo code and use the $100 sign-up deposit, go ahead and email us 49ers@chatsports.com to redeem your jersey. Just say, hey, I put my deposit down, $100, I use the links, and then I want the George Kittle jersey or I want the Nick Bosa jersey. You can pick whatever one you guys want. Again, only good for a limited amount of time, so act fast when we have so many jerseys to go ahead and give out. But jump on this because I'm telling you, where you can put $100 down, use the promo code, get the deposit bonus, and still get a free jersey in the mail from us when you email us chatsports49ers or chatsports.com/49bet. I mean, this is a great deal to get you guys betting on the 49ers and get you a cool new jersey to wear over the next couple of, not just this year, but the next couple of seasons. Back to our Week 13 overreactions here. The 49ers defense got worked. Yes and no. The 49ers defense did get worked yesterday. More specifically, Josh Allen worked the 49ers defense. He was phenomenal. I mean, Josh Allen is looking like the best quarterback from that draft a couple of years ago that has Darnold and Baker and Josh Rosen for sure. I mean, Josh Allen is unbelievably good. To me, the secondary got worked. The defensive line, I thought had good pressure, even though they only had one sack. And I thought that overall, they got stops in the red zone. I mean, it's twice they got the Bills down in the red zone and made good stops. So the defense was very hit or miss. It was like if they could get a stop, great. Then there were some drives where Josh Allen was just torching this defense. I mean, Cole Beasley, 11 catches, 11 targets, 9 catches, $130 and a touchdown. The slot cornerbacks, no K'Wan Williams, is a massive hole right now in the 49ers secondary. But more importantly, I thought Jason Verrett kind of got exposed on Sunday night. And honestly, I mean, he, 8 for 10, 85 yards? I mean, he really was targeted a lot more than Sherman was, even though Sherman was targeted, but he was targeted more than Sherman was picked on a lot, and it was a bad overall look for a guy who's trying to earn the starting cornerback of the 49ers going forward in terms of like the 2021 season and the 2022 season. Sherman also got targeted a little bit, picked on a little bit more, 3 for 3, the 35 yards and that touchdown pass on the right side. He was a little bit worse, I think, than the stats would say, but overall, I think the secondary as a whole was just completely obliterated, and this is something that we've seen, but not seen consistently. There have been some weeks the secondary, like last week, looked great. I mean, really good. Whenever they beat the Rams, fantastic. And then this week, they get absolutely torched. So it's a hit or miss right now with the secondary, but I think that this does lead into the idea that Sherman and Verrett could not be the starting quarterbacks of the 49ers going forward, and it could be a situation where they spend the, 16th overall pick, 19th overall pick, wherever they're picking next year in the draft, on a brand new cornerback. It would not surprise me at all. What's your guys' level of concern with the secondary as of right now? Based on what you saw last night, scale of 1 to 10, I mean, it's up there, but it's not like, red alert DEFCON 1. It's still bad. I mean, it's not a 10. I think 7 overall because, again, they've had good games where you watch and go, okay, yeah, Sherman looks great. Verrett playing very, very well. Very high Pro Football Focus grade, like no problems. And then they have last night where Cole Beasley, Stefon Diggs, and Josh Allen, I mean, this was abuse. You watch the film again. I watched it again this morning. It was like wide open, great route running, tough to watch from a 49ers secondary position. While you guys are getting your answers in, make sure you guys are subscribed and click that notification bell because we're still doing nonstop coverage here on the 49ers Report. And as you probably know, we do a live Q&A every Thursday night, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. This is your friendly reminder to be ready and subscribe for that. The way you guys can ask questions as I like to answer. Quickly, where's the running game? Like, I don't know where the running game has gone. The running game is no longer the biggest and most dangerous part of the 49er offense. The passing game is, which is not a bad thing, but still, 9 carries for Raheem Mostert. Is Raheem Mostert, is he still hurt? Are they trying to limit his snap count? I feel like he's on a pitch count. He's got to be on a pitch count. Why only 9 carries? 9 carries, 42 yards. He did have a great average, 6.7 yards per carry, but as you look at the 49ers running backs as a whole and their rushers for the game, they only rushed for like 86 yards. Like this is not the usual $120, $130, $160 yard games that they had last season, which was a big reason why they would roll over football teams in time of possession and really in points as well. Jeff Wilson Jr., again, was fine. It's fine to give him the rock. But the fact that Mostert, your best running back, is splitting carries essentially with Jeff Wilson Jr., your third running back on the depth chart, to me makes no sense. Tevin Coleman, 2 for -11. What happened to him? For some reason, the Niners have gotten away from running, and I don't know if it's just because they weren't healthy. I don't know if they don't trust it. I don't know if they're just getting behind in football games. But I mean, look at this. Seahawks week 8, 52. Packers 55. Saints 49. Rams, you won. They ran for $112. And then Bills 86. They're 18th in rushing the National Football League. They were top 5 last year. I don't know what's happened. I don't know if it's Mostert is still dealing with an injury. Very, very likely. And if it is, then, we accept this because what else are you going to do? But it's just strange how they went from being run to being like run kind of, run run sometimes, but not run as much as we would like them to. So it's weird. Like where did it go? I feel like running the football, especially now with a backup quarterback, could be even more important, and yet they're throwing a lot more. So I don't know. What are you gonna do? Okay, final look here. Playoff chances, are they officially dead? No, but they're on life support. They've been on life support the past couple of weeks. Okay, here's the deal. Technically, like mathematically, put your nerd glasses on and think about this. Did they have to win last night to go to the playoffs? No, because they're 5-7. So 9-7 gets you in. But as you look at the current playoff hunt, it's getting a little tricky. So Saints obviously clinch. Packers, Rams. I think it will be either the Rams or Seattle there at 3. You can basically take the Rams and the Seahawks and interchange them 3 or 5. Looks like Giants or Washington at 4. Bucks are almost guaranteed to be locked into the 6th seed. And then, of course, there you go in the hunt. Vikings, Cardinals, Bears, Lions, and then, of course, Niners right behind all of them at 5-7. Wild card is still very much a possibility. All you have to do is get to 9 wins. Now, that means you got to somehow win out, because the NFC West that you see on your screen right now, it's impossible, basically. I mean, there's no way the Rams lose 3 more games. There's no way Seattle loses 3 of their next 4. Cardinals, whatever. The NFC West is done. We accept this, and now we go forward with a schedule, which, first off, looked like the next 2 would be easy, but Washington beat the undefeated Steelers on the road yesterday. I mean, you didn't get to watch the game because it wasn't on national TV, which is very stupid, but Washington looks complete. They got a great pass rush. They have the number 1 secondary in the National Football League. That's not a gimme. Dallas probably is a gimme, but again, Dallas, what are you going to do? Arizona looks a little more vulnerable, so I could see easily being 3-0, but then you got to some way beat Seattle. Like, they basically have to win out. 8-8, unless you get help from the Bucks or the Vikings or the Cardinals or the Bears or the Lions, 8-8's not going to do it. So you got to win out, and that means that next week, a Sunday matchup against Washington becomes a must-win football game. So, what are you going to do? That's why I would have liked to have beaten the Bills. That way you get a little bit of leeway where you could lose to Seattle or somehow, fluke lose to Washington or whatever. But now, no room for error. So if you want to be in the postseason, win out, which is still very possible, but a little less likely with the loss to San Francisco, or to the Buffalo Bills. All right, we're going to sign off here. Final question. Will they make the postseason? Yes or no? What do you think? I think they're going to lose 1 more game. If I'm being straight up with you, if you stayed this long, you see my prediction. Don't hate me. I think that they somehow lose one of these next 4 games, and they finish 8-8, which would be incredible based on the fact they have all these injuries, but also disappointing because they'd be 1 win away from a postseason berth. Ultimately, we have for today here in the 49ers Report. I'm your host, Thomas Mott, signing off. You guys enjoy the rest of your day.